This is my recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 4, Episode 17, Turning Down the Crown. Though, realistically, this is just another episode where a bunch of people stand around and bash Lisa. So, let's get right into it. We open up with Carlton and Yolanda talking in a spiritual store. So, I may not believe the same way that Carlton does, but I really appreciate how open and honest she is about her beliefs. I think that thinking about why we're here, what our purpose is a really big thing that people should be comfortable doing and talking about. So I enjoyed it. It's actually my favorite segment of the whole evening, which kind of says a lot. Next we go to Joyce and Kyle talking about the tattoo again. The only thing I want to say about that is just kind of the way that Kyle just threw out that she called Carlton anti-Semitic. An accusation like that's a pretty big deal, and I don't think you should just kind of throw it out because you don't like the way someone commented about something. I don't know. It feels like it's just too it's too big of an accusation just to casually kind of throw out there. Then we come over to Kim and Brandi getting spray tans where Kim does not know the difference between Puerto Vallarta and Puerto Rico, and they just talk mad trash about Lisa. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, the rest of the episode is pretty much Yolanda's party, going away party for Gigi. So Brandi's going with her friend, and she spends the whole time in the car talking mad trash about Lisa. So I think the saddest part of all this is that Lisa does not know this is going on. Now, Carlton and Kyle have had these disagreements, and everybody knows about it, and they're not getting along, and that's no surprise. Now, Brandi's going around to Kyle and Kim, absolutely slamming Lisa, and Lisa has no idea there's a problem. It actually becomes really clear when Brandi goes to the party and Lisa's like, oh, hi, and then is like, you haven't called me, you haven't come say hello, give me air kisses, and Brandi's like, oh, well, you know, my throat hurts. Which, first of all, I don't get what happened. She had an allergic reaction to aspirin. I find that whole thing really weird, but I find it really sad that Lisa has no idea this is going on. It's just, and I think a lot of people, if you look on Twitter, I live tweeted the show, a lot of people felt this way. They just were kind of sickened by it because it's just so sad that Lisa has no idea. Now, I want to address one thing, which is on Twitter, a lot of people are kind of saying that Yolanda is part of this. Now, I don't believe so, and I've given a lot of thought, and this is my explanation. First of all, let's just take everything that was said in the interviews off the table. So they all were required to do them. You can't really, they ask them about everything. I assume that they go through and they ask them, well, how do you think of this or that? So the things that are said in the interviews, I'm going to kind of take off the table for now. Now, with that off the table, 99% of what Kim, Kyle, and Brandi are saying are behind Lisa's back. Like 99% of it. They're saying it to each other, and Lisa has no idea. On the other hand, 95% of what Yolanda is saying is to Lisa's face. So she had a problem with Lisa canceling at the last minute. She called her up and she told her. She did say something to other girls, but she told Lisa. Later on this episode, she has a problem with Lisa interfering, and I'm going to get to that later. But she told Lisa. So I think at this point, Lisa's totally aware of any problems that Yolanda has with her. Okay? That's fair. That's how adults deal with it. I may not always agree with Yolanda, but that is the way to handle it. I'm not going to 100% agree with anyone on any of these shows. But I do not have a problem with what's going on with Yolanda. And I do not think if they had asked Yolanda, that Yolanda would say that she, you know, was that Lisa was awful and manipulative and needs to be taken down. Clearly over here, that's what's going on. And Lisa has no idea. Okay? So there you go. You're welcome to disagree. That is how I feel about it. Now let's get to the party. Carlton and Kyle are going to kind of avoid each other. Kyle's going to be like, oh, I can't believe she's avoiding me. But they just had this huge blowout, and Kyle's not, you know, decided that she's not going to be invited to Puerto Rico. By the way, there's one weird thing is that Kyle invited Brandi to Puerto Rico. I mentioned this in the last recap. And there's like no problem with it. But what I realized is that part of what's skewing my view on that is the fact that in real time, Brandi's been going after Joyce like crazy. So I think that's what's affecting my whole thing there. The party, they have all this fun stuff. Gigi gives an amazing toast. It's super sweet. But it doesn't last for long, of course, because Yolanda pulls aside Brandi to ask about Carlton. Okay, that's kind of why I feel like Yolanda was wrong later on in the episode when she gets after Lisa for saying something to Carlton. Is like, Yolanda, like a half an hour earlier, you pulled Brandy aside to ask about Carlton. So it's getting kind of a little fishy there. And then there's the whole ring situation. So what happens is Carlton's leaving. Lisa's going with her. Over here, Kyle grabs Brandy and says, here, give Carlton this ring. It goes with the necklace. Brandy comes running in, says, here's this ring from Kyle. It goes with the necklace. It's clear that everyone is confused. I found it really confusing. What's going on? They're not talking. Kyle's, specifically did not invite Carlton, but now she's giving her this ring. And how does this ring even fit with this necklace? That was my thought, and that's what Lisa said. What? And it's clear that Carlton was completely caught off guard. And I believe it was her husband who said, well, don't take it. If you don't want it, don't take it. Makes sense to me that Carlton wouldn't take it because of her religious beliefs about items, as well as you just don't want to take it. When you're mad at someone like that, you don't want a gift from them. Gift requires gratitude, and she doesn't want to have that feeling toward Kyle. So her husband says, don't take it. Lisa says, I think it's a peace offering. Maybe that's why Kyle's offering it. Carlton decides she doesn't want it, and she just wants to go home. Gives it back to Brandy. Brandy immediately runs back to Kyle and says, well, Lisa said not to take it because it doesn't match. What? That doesn't make any sense. Like, that's kind of like most of the words were right, but like that's not what happened. Lisa said it's a peace offering, maybe you should take it and things could get better. She's been sticking up for Kyle this whole time. She did say, I don't understand how it matches, but that wasn't like, don't take it, it doesn't match. She was like, I don't get it, it doesn't match. That's what I was thinking. So, clearly Brandy has this, that she is driving home this idea that Lisa is manipulative, is evil. So, and Lisa has no idea. So Lisa comes back to Kyle, and Kyle's like, you said not to take it. And Lisa's like genuinely confused. Like, that's not what happened at all. Then Brandy, I guess, leaves. And Kyle goes and sits next to Lisa like, oh, it's no big deal. I haven't been talking crap about you all day. And they're going to go shopping together, which just drives me nuts. Like, after everything that happened, like, this is so, I'm embarrassed for Lisa. I think it's unfair. I don't have any respect for Lisa. At least Kim's not, like, hanging out with Lisa and pretending to be best friends. No respect for Brandy and Kyle and this whole mess that's going on. Kyle does share that Joyce's father passed away, and genuinely 100% I want to say that I am heartbroken for Joyce. That is awful. I just can't even believe that she has to go through that while filming, while dealing with all these other petty things. It is truly, truly awful, and I feel horrible for her, and I know other viewers feel the same. Now, the last little scene in this episode is about Lisa and Kyle, and this is basically promoting Kyle's store, so, and it even ticks me off more. They're there, and Kyle wants to rehash things. Now, I will say that I do not think Lisa is the kind of person who likes to rehash. I feel like this has come up multiple times in the past. Lisa just moves on. She does not like to deal with that. It's over and done with. Kyle's still harping on the joke that Lisa made. I got what Lisa was saying when she originally said it. Maybe it wasn't in the best taste, but I also don't think it was malicious. And then we go into the preview for next week, which just looks awful. Just looks awful. It's just, I dread it so much. It just looks so horrible. And I hope it's not nearly as bad as it looks like it's going to be. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't watch it. I'd just go read a recap. But I guess it's not up to me. If I want to recap it, I gotta watch it. So I will see you next week.